Good morning. Good morning. Using our sense of self to make sense of the world. World peace through individual strength. Waking up the globe in the mornings. Physically and mentally and spiritually and physically again. And of course, we're always feeling better objectively. Your morning wood feels so good. On Pal Go On, your only no-nonsense podcast brought to you by the Best Feeling Network. Who the Best Feeling Network? My name is Herbie, good morning, and this is absolutely Pal Go On. You are having the best morning, a fantastic morning. It is Monday, July 12th, 2021. As you're stretching your self-awareness like a muscle, you godlike creature, you out there, wherever you are, wherever thou art, in the future, maybe, or present, wherever you are, maybe you're a Vader in the future. Remember to always allow all these words enter in one ear and then out the other. Today, on Mover Monday, we reintroduce you to concepts about yourself. And today is about soft focusing. As in, should we live in our eyes or somewhere else? Another weekend, or another week started. I love it. Let's go. Let's kill it. I hope you are doing well out there. And I hope, most importantly, you're able to feel the front of the shins. I hope you're able to place the weight of the body down the front of the spine and into the rainbow arches like all of the times. Are you remembering to feel the front of the shins? And then are you remembering that you do not sit on your legs? Welcome back to another Monday, another Mover Monday on Pal Go On. I want to thank you so much, Herbie, for the host. Bah! Thank you so much for the host. Today is another Monday. I hope you are feeling fantastic in that amazing body of yours, letting these words enter in one ear and then always out the other. Good morning. Today on Mover Monday, we wanted to talk about soft focusing. Today on Mover Monday, where we reacquaint yourself with yourself, concepts about yourself that maybe we've forgotten about because of society or culture or family or religion or whatever it might be. Mover Monday. You are a mover. As a human being, you are always a mover. As in when you are sleeping, when you are breathing, when you are eating, when you think you are being still, you are actually a mover, not just physically in your own body, but of the world, of ideas. You move ideas as well. So here on Mover Monday, we say hello again to yourself. To yourself, as in concepts about yourself that maybe had gotten swept under the rug. We hadn't talked about them for a while, possibly. Something like that. Like the fact that you want a soft focus. There are some things that you can see better through soft focusing. Some things in life you can see better through soft focusing. Say it with me. Some things in life you can see better through soft focus. Say it with me. Some things in life you can see better with soft focus. One more time. Say it with me. There's some things in life that you can see better with soft focus. Good. What do you mean by soft focus? You ever just let your eyes glaze over? You may notice that you cannot turn your eyes off. should your eyeballs be revealed to the world, you are always receiving light. You can't just turn it off. So what can you do with your eyes? We definitely do something with our eyes. We do something with our eyes that are just recognizable. A way of disengaging with the eyes that we all kind of understand. We can't turn our eyes off, but you can disengage with the eyes. You can let it go to a soft focus in which not only are your eyes receiving, not just that your eyes are receiving, but when you soft focus, you take the attention away from the eyes themselves, the vision itself. So your eyes, the vision, it tends to glaze over and you get a more flat look of the world, right? Which can be an issue if you're trying to look for details. Sometimes soft focusing can make it difficult to see details because you're looking at the larger picture, right? You're looking at the world with a softer focus. You're not straining your eyes to see each and every individual issue or error with what you're looking at, but rather you are choosing to take a back seat to the vision, and you are now allowing the vision to go before you, and you soft focus on that vision. What might be some examples of things that you can see better when you're soft focused? Vibes, body language, typically things that are non-linear in information. They're just shapes, they're large events that occur. Vibes, patterns, right? And since the whole human body is constantly communicating how you feel about yourself to other people, right? Last week on Truth Hurts Days, since we are always telling people how to feel about us constantly, and we cannot help it, there is a certain benefit you get from soft focusing, considering we're always telling people how to see us. When you soft focus, you can easier see body language. Should you focus on the entirety of someone's body and soft focus it so you are appreciating and becoming aware of their entire body as a whole, as opposed to individual parts of maybe their facial expression? It becomes second nature, if not communicative, simply to soft focus, as we're always communicating to the world how we feel in the inside world, our inside world. There's certain things that you can see better by soft focusing, like the intentions of somebody, as in the body language. And we know this internally, right? We already know this internally. It's nothing new. We've always known it. Babies can recognize faces before they can recognize facial expressions and the meaning of those before they're understanding words and language, right? Babies have not yet been plagued with the idea of hard focusing, so in a way that they're always soft focusing. They're always soft focusing. There are some things in life that you can see easier with a soft focus. Even with a look on your body, it's easier to see sometimes with a soft focus, so you're not fixating too much on one thing or the other. What does this mean, soft focus? As in, when we allow our eyes to glaze over, what happens there? What are we then placing our attention on? Your touch? Maybe. Maybe your sense of smell? Sense of taste? When you soft focus, as in, you don't just focus on the visuals. Excuse me. This morning. You don't just focus on the visuals, right? When we soft focus, we're focusing on the visuals along with everything else. We allow everything to blend in together. You allow it all to blend in together. With this soft focus. There's some things that we see better with soft focus. Like how people are feeling. And what does this mean when we're soft focusing? We're using our eyes less, right? We use our eyes less, right? We soft focus. Before we go on our break, I did want to leave you with the idea of What if we're supposed to be living more in our ears? You notice how we kind of live in our eyes, right? As in, like, what we see in the world is kind of how we understand the world. When we see it, there's even the phrase, I'll believe it when I see it. We never hear, I'll believe it when I hear it, right? It's always, I'll believe it when I see it. When you look at your phone, cool things on the internet, when you look at things in the world that you want or live, you aren't able to touch those things on the screen. You aren't able to even hear all those things on the screen on your phone. You're not even able to hear most of those things. So we live in our eyes. But introducing you to the idea of what if we're supposed to live more in our ears, as in, what do you mean by supposed to, Herbie? As in, it's a stress-less life, as in, life is stress-less. Life is less stressful when you live this way. What would you say to the idea that we're supposed to, as in, it's the path of least resistance for us to live in our ears more than our eyes? What would you say to that? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that as I drop that into your awareness, you godlike creature, you amazing creature, you? I remember to feel the front of your shins, and I remember that you do not sit on your legs. As you place the weight of the body on the front of the spine and into the rainbow arches at all the times. What if we were supposed to live in our ears more? How would you feel about that? Would that be closer to the soft focus that allows us to integrate more ideas together without separating them and without compartmentalizing them? Which our eyes can do, but our ears? I don't know. How does it feel to you to say? What if we're supposed to use our ears more than our eyes? Anyway, we'll be right back. Think about that. In one ear and out the other. We'll be right back in Padawan. Is in one ear and out the other. How are you? Welcome back. Welcome back from our break. Have you been able to feel the weight of the body down from the spine into the rainbow arches at all times? Because we are using our sense of self to make sense of the world. World peace through individual strength, waking up the globe in the mornings, physically, mentally, spiritually, and then physically again, as we're feeling better objectively. Welcome back to Power Go On, your only no-nonsense podcast brought to you through the Best Feeling Network. Have you thought about whether or not we should be using our ears more? Should we be living in our ears? We live in our eyes, do we not? Seeing is believing. Seeing is believing, they say. Do we not live completely in our eyes? Does that resonate with you? What would it mean to live more in our ears? Why does it matter? Would our body feel better this way? See, music is one of those hardest things in the world. Is music a visual thing? What I mean by music is the hardest thing in the world, as in making music and making good music, making amazing music, great music is highly sought after, highly respected because it's a difficult thing to do. So is visual art as well. But there is a layer that is reserved specifically for the music domain. Why is that? Because it accompanies everything else, right? Every other sense, wouldn't you say, is actually, well, vision actually. Wouldn't you say vision is actually one of the only senses that is not 3D? Does that make sense to you? Do you notice how vision is the only sense that you have? It's pretty much not 3D. As in, your sense of touch in your body, you can feel it behind you, feel it down beneath your heel, all at the same time too. And then you got your sense of taste. Where is that? It's kind of like an overall feeling, right? It's located in your mouth, but it is a very 3D feeling to you. Same thing with your smelling, kind of engulfs your whole body. What am I missing? Hearing. And hearing is definitely a 3D kind of thing, as we can just imagine that you're getting all the sounds from all around you. I think that one is the least hard to understand, that your hearing is definitely a 3D experience compared to especially the eyes. But the eyes, out of all your senses, ironically enough, the thing that helps you see depth, the thing that helps you understand depth, that things go further beyond, things that feel very 3D, ironically enough, it is our most 2D sense on its own. Our sight, our vision, our eyes. So are we living in 2D, or should we live in 3D? The first podcast in 3D. Should we be using our ears more to see and our eyes less? As our eyes are very limited, right? They're 2D. Yes, we can see further. But that image of how far we can see is still just an image, something that we ourselves cannot feel, especially in the 3D sense, right? Unless that vision itself elicits that 3D response within us. Humans will stand in the middle of their own center of attention. And what alerts you most to the 3D experience around you, what shakes you at the concert, is it the visuals? Is it the lights that's shaking your body, that's allowing you to feel that larger sense of self? That's allowing your sense of self to feel like an entire body experience as it's shaking. Is it light that's doing that? Is it the light waves that's doing that? No, it's the sound, right? It's the sound. A 3D experience. So So would we rather live in a 2D experience? Or would we rather live in a 3D experience? As we're using our ears more and our eyes less. Using our ears more and our eyes less. Is it because vision is a bad thing? Is it because you don't want to have good vision? Is it because you don't want to rely on good vision? No. It's something closer to the idea that the human experience desires to be 3D. You are a 3D creature. You desire to be 3D. How can you be 3D when you're living in your eyes, when you're living in a 2D experience, which your eyes provide you? You might be saying, Herbie, your eyes are not 3D, or your eyes are not 2D actually, they're very 3D. You might be saying, look, if you place a pen in between your eyeballs, and like in between, like right in front of your nose, your eyes will then look towards the pen and create a 3D experience because you have two different views on this pen, which is allowing you to see it in 3D, right? Because you have these two images from your eyeballs and they're being placed on top of each other in your brain so that you can see and understand how far something. However, how often are things so close to you, in front of you, in which your eyes need to gaze towards the center instead of just looking outward? How often is it that you are looking at something so close in which your eyes can cross like that? In which you are truly experiencing something in 3D. There is a distance at which things stop being able to be 3D to you, right? You can understand the depth, but there's a distance in which vision becomes kind of like a 2D object to you, like a screen, right? Which everything kind of just blends together. And should we live in there? Should we live in that area where it just blends together? Are you not living in a 2D area, as most things are that way for you? The stars, for example. The stars, for example. Incredible depth in between each star. There's a lot of 3D depth going on with these stars, right? You see stars in the sky. They all look like they're next to each other, but in reality, most of them are either really, really far away from each other. You look at one, they might look like they're next to each other, but then you find out that one is like hundreds of thousands and thousands of millions of miles behind it, right? But you couldn't know that because all you're looking at is light from the distance. And so your experience, although the world is so 3D, what we end up doing to the world is forcing it to conform to 2D ideas if we live in our eyes, right? We're like, oh, those stars, they must be right next to each other because according to our eyes, they are right next to each other. But in reality, one is way, 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 way further and deeper away from your vision than the other. Right? Isn't that true? So we change our world and we conform it to this 2D experience when we are living in our eyes more than we are living in our ears. So, whereas when you live in the ears, what do you imagine? Yourself at the middle of a concert. You're experiencing from all directions, all at once, and in a way that your body is actually designed to be able to do. What's so amazing about that is that your body is not just able to experience the world in 3D. It wants to. It wants to. Your body wants to experience the world in 3D because it knows that it can. As in, you can hear all things around you in 3D around you if you're so lucky, right? You're so lucky to have the instruments on your body to be able to hear. You can hear all things around you, right? You can hear objects that are behind you, in front of you, to the side of you, all simultaneously. And our brains are able to organize that information pretty amazingly, right? You can hear in 3D, right? How do you feel about that? you feel about that? Do you feel like you live in 3D when you're living in the sound? Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense to you? How do we go about living more in our ears? And does it feel good, Herbie? Yes, it feels good. It feels better than sex. As in, it's always there for you, just like your rainbow arches. And you don't need anyone else to participate in this feeling, and it doesn't leave you. And you can continue to make it better every time. Better than sex to use our ears more and our eyes less, right? As we are body mapping. As we are becoming more reacquainted with concepts about ourselves on Mover Monday. Because we are indeed movers. Every one of us. Every one of us is indeed a mover. Whether you are chilling in that bed and not really trying to get out of bed yet, you're chilling on the mattress and you haven't kicked off the blanket yet, you are still a mover. Whether you are eating breakfast right now and you got a really early day started, maybe you've been up since 2, you are a mover. Maybe you're still sleeping right now and you're watching this in a VOD hours later because you need your sleep. You need your beauty sleep, you beautiful creature, you. You are a mover, always, even when you're sleeping. Every time you think a thought, you're a mover. Every time you write on the pen with a pen, you're a mover. Every time you put on a ring, you're a mover. Every time you think about a new feeling, you're a mover. Your body will move and react to all these things going on in your inside world. All your brain stuff is going to reflect on the outside world, whether we like it or not. And if we use our eyes, would we be able to understand all of the human body languages we can? If we're using our eyes, like, oh, well, they lifted their left shoulder up here. They put their right heel down. Their right hip joint went downwards. Using our eyes, right? Like looking at those individual details. As opposed to using the ears to what? Hear their body, Herbie? No. As in you want to hear their body? No. As in you want a soft focus. Shift the attention to the ears and watch the eyes do their magic. Shift the attention to the ears and watch the eyes do the magic. As you are now able to, with the soft focus, right? The intention of soft focusing. Receiving all of that visual information, but not necessarily parsing it the way that we used to. Receiving all that information, but seeing it more as a flat image so that we can then understand it. As opposed to adding all of our ideas of what this image looks like. Our brain, right? Our eyes. Brain and our eyes are working overtime. They're like, okay, what we see is like an arm moving up here. We see some hair jutting out from the side of his head. What we see here is his shoulders now being curled towards the front. All of these individual detail-like things that your brain and your eyes together are creating, right? A world of like, oh, there's an arm there. There's a body there when you're trying to read body language. Oh, there's a head there. But your body and your brain don't know about a head. They don't know about an arm. They don't know about any of those things. They just see images. It's our brain that will put those into what we see. It will put meaning into what we see, right? We're always jutting in our own meaning into what we see so that we can understand what we're seeing because the world is complicated. And we need to be able to parse the world, baby. We need to be able to parse the world because the world is complicated. So we end up adding all this meaning to our vision. But isn't there so much benefit to not adding meaning to the vision, but rather just absorbing the vision and then interpreting the meaning later? As in the ability to allow the senses to simply let the body language, the visuals of what's going on in front of them, allow that into the body. And then look at that image, that flattened image, not absorbing, oh, okay, now I see an arm, okay, take that, okay, now I see a leg, take that, okay, now I'm looking at your eyes, so then I'm just like focusing on those things. But rather soft focus and allowing You're allowing the vision of this person's body to become more like a flat signal to you. No information about what should be and what should not be about this person, but rather just a flat visual image, which then your amazing godlike body of yours inside of you, right? Able to move faster than anything you've ever seen and further than anything you've ever seen before, right? The human subconscious and unconscious. And it just unwraps all that meaning from being able to first soft focus on allowing their eyes to soft focus, which would allow the image of this person's body language to be unfiltered, clean, and pure as it enters the human brain, not marred by any expectations or meaning that you might already be injecting of this moment, but rather living in the moment to be life-loving. How do we do that? By living in the ears, not the eyes. The eyes will cause you to be death-fearing, as you're looking literally farther beyond what your body is, literally looking beyond what will actually affect your body in 3D, but rather looking at a 2D thing in the very distance with your eyeballs and then applying it to your own 3D experience right here and now, where you are right now. But when you're looking with your eyeballs far and far away, as we know, it can play tricks on you. As in, you think you see what you're thinking, but you're adding a lot, or you think you see what you're seeing, but you're adding a lot of meaning into it, so you're implying a lot of things, like seeing two stars next to each other where one is actually way further in the back. But our vision, our stupid 2D vision, which allows us a 2D image on most of the 3D world, is going to have us think that they're right next to each other. Now, is that real? Should you be afraid of the consequences of those two touching one day? Maybe you're thinking that it's going to collapse the entire universe if those two touch. Using your eyes, you'd be death-fearing, as in you'd be looking at an experience that might be and applying all of your 3D ideas of what might happen if that 2D image is true. The problem is that 2D image is very rarely true. You're not living in the moment, but you're rather creating a moment that might be if you are living in the eyes. If you're living with vision, if you are prioritizing vision, it is easy to accidentally place all these kinds of restrictions and rules against a consequence that might not even be real. As in, you might be preparing for what to do when these stars collide. And so you spend your whole life building around that, preparing for that idea. This idea that because of your eyes, you just assumed you were correct about. Because you said, oh, if I see it this way, if I see those stars might touch, it's true. Because my eyes say so, seeing is believing, right? But not necessarily. Your body is believing, as in you can be in the center of a room and you can experience all things in 3D with your hearing and your sense of touch and all sorts and sense of smell. You can experience a 3D experience in which your body is a 3D body in order to stand up, right? Literally, your body is a 3D body. Its 3D-ness, its 3D nature is what helps it stand upright. And if we couldn't stand upright, we would be flat, which means we would not be human. We would not be what we are today. You'd not be that amazing 3D image body of yours that you live in, that you can experience all around you, 3D world with hearing, right? Not with vision. Not with vision, unless it's right there in front of your nose, right? Where your eyes are actually able to look towards a center and your vision crosses. You really get a feeling of a 3D thing. When you put in your hand, you put it in front of your face, you can actually rotate it, and it's close enough to your eyes where your vision's crossing. You do create a 3D experience, but for most of the world in which you cannot hold in your hand, it's not right in front of you. Most of the world is very far away. Most of the world is 2, 3, 4, 5 infinity feet away from you, in which now your vision now just becomes a 2D image again. And so you're trying to test a 2D image to reflect how you should behave in your 3D body? It don't make sense. You see what I'm saying now? As to why we should be using our ears more and our eyes less. Our eyes trick you, like the star example. Your eyes will trick you, as in your eyes can make you think that somebody is balanced. If they put their back against the wall, you can use your eyes to see that from the outside, but we don't typically know if it's truly balanced. In fact, there's art around the world that thrives off of this idea of looking imbalanced but somehow still being able to balance. Our eyes play tricks on us. Just because something is standing upright does not mean that it reflects what we think it does with our eyes. You might think that the base point or that the the center of gravity is one place with our eyes, but there's no way for us to ever know unless you were that 3D object, unless you are able to feel that 3D object for yourself. Just the same way with our bodies, right? We can see balance sometimes, but most often we refer to our balance in the sense of our sense of self, our body, our own body. We refer to our body to find out if we're balanced. And so do we look at our own body for that, or do we hear the world and place the attention not on the eyes, but rather on the ears to enable us to balance more of our skull onto our spine? And also to take the focus away from the eyes, which are a liar, but rather on our most superpower, our most important superpower, which is our ability to be in 3D, our ability or our awareness to be in 3D. Your sight is not in 3D most of the time. For most things in the world that are concerning you, or most things that you look at in life, they're not mostly right in front of your face all the time, right? So most things in the world, it is a 2D experience. But our bodies are so starved. Our bodies are so starved to finally just use themselves for what they're supposed to be used for. Our bodies are so starved to be used for their purpose. Isn't that true? Isn't our body and soul so starved to be used for our purpose? Spend our whole life looking for it. Isn't our body and soul and our spirit just waiting to be used for our purpose, right? Are we just waiting? So isn't using our body closer to its design, closer to its purpose? So we should use our eyes, and we should use our ears more and our eyes less, as our body and spirit are always looking to work towards their purpose. It does appear that our purpose would be more 3D. Our human potential, our superpower, our ability to place our awareness anywhere is in 3D. So should we be hard focusing and living in our eyes? Would we be using the most of our hardware? Would we be sucking the potential? Would we be using the optimal potential of our body? Should we be trying to live in 2D experiences while our bodies are always doomed to be 3D experiences? As our body is doomed, but also blessed with the superpower of living a 3D existence, of allowing their awareness to be in 3D, as our potential lies there in being these 3D objects, does our potential not lie most in being creatures and leaning into the curve? Leaning into the curve, using our powers best in the realm that they belong in, the 3D realm. Do we not get the most out of our potential by also abiding by this and living as 3D creatures, living from the ears more than we live in the eyes? How does that make you feel? We'll be right back. Shouldn't we be more 3D creatures? Shouldn't we rely more on our 3D senses? We'll be right back. sense of the world. To make sense of the world. Using our sense of self to make the sense of the world. World peace, individual strength. This green screen sucks. Yikes. Thank you, but thank you for your service, green screen. Piece of work, you. Have you been able to place the weight of the body into the front of the spine? And into the rainbow arches at all other times. Are you able to use your ears more? And your eyes less? Is that what soft focusing is? Is that what soft focusing is? Using your ears more and your eyes less. Is that what soft focusing is? How does that feel with you? Using your ears more and your eyes less. Using your ears more and your eyes less. Using your ears more and your eyes less. Isn't it hard? It can be hard. It can be difficult. It can be difficult. I don't mind. Nobody here minds. And the world surely would not mind should you do whatever it takes for you to regulate. To feel that 3D image body of your life as it is. Using your 3D senses. Hearing, kinesthesia, which grounds all of your experiences, smell, taste, all of them 3D experiences, but the 3D experience of the outside, the most outside world. Hearing, coincidentally, also allows your skull to balance more on your body, more properly onto your spine, using the atlo-occipital joint where the skull meets the spine. Does that feel so good to rub that skull onto that spine? By how? By listening for 7 different things in the room. Remember that? Why do we do that? Do we not allow our eyes to soft focus sometimes, right? Let them glaze over. Allow your attention to be placed more onto the ears and the sounds. Are we not already familiar with that idea of soft focusing? Are we not all already familiar with that idea of soft focusing? Placing the attention onto the ears more than necessarily the eyes. Right? Don't we soft focus sometimes? And isn't that a good thing sometimes? A lot of the times. As we are then using our 3D sense of the world. 3D sense of self. More than this 2D sense that your eyes typically will receive most of the world as. Your body itself is a 3D body. It actually has 3D eyeballs. The eyeballs, thing that we keep talking mess about being so 2D, deceptively 2D, are 3D objects. Your eyeballs are 3D physical structures. 3D. And so your entire body is this 3D structure. Doesn't it feel so good to be more in line with your nature? To be more 3D, to allow yourself to be more in your ears, and to focus less on your eyes, to soft focus your eyes. There's so many things we can do in life when we soft focus our eyes. you are feeling the front of your shins. Is that a hard focus, or is that a soft focus so that you can focus on the body again? Is there not something associated with soft focusing, as in moving your attention to your ears, not your eyes? Isn't there something to that and relaxation? Does our breathing improve when we focus on our ears more than our eyes? Does our breathing improve when we focus more on our ears more than our eyes? Does our breathing improve when we focus more on our ears more than our eyes? Does our breathing improve when we focus more on our ears, letting these words go in one ear and out the other, rather than our eyes? When's the last time you heard on this show, hey, look really hard? No, in one ear and out the other. Our brains are designed to see amazing things at a distance with our eyes. Our eyes are designed to see things that are very, 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 very far away, that might entice us, that might make us want those things. But our body is only designed to receive things here and now in 3D. Here and now, we're in the focal point of our world that we create, the world where we decide to be here, right here and now. We are at the center. This is true. It's just necessarily true. It's not a good or bad thing. It's just necessarily true. You are the center of thy world. So would you not be draining yourself of your full power? You try to live in a 2D experience somewhere else other than where you are right now. But should you focus on your body and in the moment, where it's at right now? Where it's at right now. Should you focus on your body, where it's at right now? Aren't you using more of your potential there? Spending your attention on this 3D experience that has you at the center, as opposed to a 2D experience which your eyes will give you where you are not at the center. So not only is it a 2D experience, but you don't even understand the entire scope or the entire vantage point of what you're looking at because you are not at the center of that position. You can only use you can only then apply your own 3D experience of where you are sitting as you look at this other person, this other thing with your eyes, and you're like, wow, I wish I could be like that, or something like that. As you are trying to live in your eyes, you are imposing your own 3D experiences of where you are here and now, because that's all you can feel, right? Your superpower is so strong that you are feeling things constantly, always, where you are at in your body, in 3D. In 3D. So are we not imposing our own ideas of where our 3D experience is as it envelops us, as it is just overwhelming us, our own 3D experience? Are we not projecting that onto whatever we see as we live in our eyes too much, as we try to live too much in our eyes, as we try to use our eyes as something to gauge what our experience is instead of our ears in order to stay balanced and to feel good in our body? If we're using our eyes too much, isn't it just us projecting how we feel in our 3D experiences as it's so huge and enwraps us, right? Are we not imposing that idea? Because it's hard to ignore a 3D experience like that. Are we not imposing that idea on these 2D images that we see with our eyes? Aren't we imposing our own 3D experiences onto whatever we see with our eyeballs, especially when they're far away? So how truthful is that? How close to the truth is that? And how much of your human potential is being used? How much of your human potential is being taken advantage of in a good way by choosing to live in a way that's counter your design? As in, everything in nature cannot be just wherever it sees. So should we focus too much on whatever we see and trying to avoid conflict and trying to resist suffering? Should we live in our eyes in order to try to avoid disaster in the future using our eyeballs? And should we fear death in that way, where we're looking outside and looking at the outside world with our eyes so far away and just assuming that things are going to go not our way? should we be looking with our eyes most of the time at the world? And should we be looking at our eyes to define what we should do? Is that not using a fraction of our potential, as our ability to understand the world and what's going on is part of our ability to solve or to overcome this suffering? So should we be living in a vision that we are not in, right? As necessarily every creature in this world, when it sees something, it doesn't necessarily have the ability to be in that position right away. Most things do not have the ability to just teleport to wherever they're seeing. Wherever their vision goes, most things do not have the ability to just teleport there. Their body, their physical body, to wherever their vision was in the distance. Most beings aren't able to just do that, to just teleport to their vision. So you only live in your body anyway. So are you not only using a fraction of your potential? Should you be trying to apply all of your 3D greatness to this 2D place where you are nowhere and you could never be there, but all of your attention is all over there now? All of your attention is all over being over there, this hypothetical future that was elicited to you by your eyes. If your eyes did not quote unquote see anything, would it be trying to be anywhere? Our eyes are the furthest reaching sense that we have. No wonder it's associated with the ego, associated with our ability to, it's associated with our desire to conquer, our desire to make that ours. To make what ours exactly? Well, that's afforded to you by your vision, your furthest reaching sense. No wonder it's associated with ego, because it has the ability to, in the most literal sense, receive the most. It can receive the furthest. It can receive information from the furthest source and quickest. Both things associated with the human ego. Faster, bigger, better, farther, stronger. Things that we can see with our eyeballs, typically, that we go towards. Even a goal. You're not hearing the goal, but rather you're looking at the goal. It's so far away that you need your eyes to be able to look at it. However, when you are running towards this goal, that is a 3D experience now. You might be oriented with this 2D experience that's so far away, but the idea is that you want to get your 3D experience over that goal, right? You want to get your 3D experience over that goal. That's a possibility. However, what if you're fixated on goals in which your 3D body is impossible to get over that goal? How much of your energy is spent on that? How much of your awareness is spent on that? This goal, this 2D goal that's farther from you, you're trying to get your 3D experience over that goal. So we soft focus. We use our ears more and our eyes less. Because although there may be things that we see outside with our vision, and our vision will help us make us want, right? Oh, we want that goal, we want those shiny diamonds, we want that pretty girl, we want that handsome guy, we want these things that our eyes can feast on, and our eyes feast on and make us want those things, right? However, as we know, they're tricky. You're not always seeing what you think you're seeing, as you might see two adjacent stars, but one's actually like very, very far. But we live in this 3D experience necessarily. And our body is so fast and so quick to do whatever it needs to do in this 3D experience. And guess what is 3D? Your lungs. So when your body is able to stretch its self-awareness in all 3D directions, are you not also getting a good breath? Are you not also allowing your lungs to get as much air as they can in a good way? Are you not allowing yourself to become more reacquainted with your 3D self and 3D space as you hug yourself? And doesn't that feel so good because your lungs are 3D things? Isn't that true? Your lungs are a 3D structure. So shouldn't we live more in our ears and allow our body to stretch itself more in 3D as it is, as opposed to being completely front-oriented, which is what would be the eyes, a very non-holistic approach, using just the eyes, right? You're getting this 2D image, it's all in the front of you, it's very flat, it's not very human-like. Whereas you can literally stretch your arm and place it behind your head, and then touch your other shoulder with your arm behind your head. An experience happening totally behind your sight, but it's still happening. You know it's happening because you have this 3D kinesthetic experience. Should you only be looking with your eyes, you wouldn't even know if that was happening unless you could look at it. But it's behind you, so how do you do that? It's not a 2D sense, or it's not a 3D sense. And so our bodies want to feel in 3D. They know that they best thrive in 3D environments because we are 3D kids. We are 3D things. So for our experience to be more in line and to feel great and to feel amazing on Pow Go On, wouldn't you need to align your daily activities more with what you're designed to do? As in, wouldn't you rather be riding the bike on the wheels and not on the spokes or on the handlebars or on the seat? You don't roll the bike on those, and we just know that it's by design. And it works better if you're rolling it on the wheels as it's designed. And so don't we work better in 3D as we are designed? As in not living in the eyes so much, which is frontwards and far and not in our bodies, but rather sound, as in living here and now, only what our body feels. As it is getting hit from all directions with sound. Does that mean you close your eyes and you run into things all the time? No, but rather your attention, your awareness is shifted and focused on your ears as your eyes soft focus. Your eyes are helpful, but what's most helpful for your body is here and now, forever, 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 because your body is highest potential here and now. You get the most out of your body and your life experience with the here and now, where your body is here and now. You could try to live in the 2D experience of your eyes, which is very far, but it's not sustainable. It's not right within your body. So it's always reaching further. It's always reaching out to be happy. It's always needs something more. Whereas the body is here and now. There's nothing more or less that it wants. It is just here and now. As we're feeling the weight of the body into the front of the spine and into the rainbow arches at all the times. What's funny is that I think females actually are more attuned to this idea, as body mapping as a whole. Just their sense of self is more attuned. So they might have an easier time accepting this. But as you're walking around today, might you try soft focusing? Might you try living in your ears more than your eyeballs? You might notice that you do not need to blindfold yourself, but what happens when your attention and your awareness shifts from the frontward feeling of your eyes of where my body is not, but rather back towards you're shifting your awareness back towards your ears. What happens if you shift your awareness towards your ears, to the here and now where the body is, and what happens to the body as opposed to the eyes, which is where the body is not and what the body wants. The eyes are what the body wants and what it sees and where the body is not, whereas hearing is where the body is and it can't want nothing else. It's just right here and now. So your body and your feelings and your thinking, even your ability to solve problems, increases as you are staying in the moment where your body is a 3D experience. You're able to enrich all of your thinking with all of your senses, as well as any other memory or feeling that's quickly within your grasp as you are working from a place of balance. As you are living from a place of balance, as in living with your ears, soft focusing your eyes, allowing your body's weight to be more towards the center where your ears are, you become most poised to think free thoughts, to feel free things, to say free things, because you are consistently placing your body into a place of balance by living in your ears, by not living in your eyes, at forward facing where your body is not, rather your ears, which is inward facing where your body only is and can never be anywhere else. And isn't that amazing? Feeling better. Isn't that feeling amazing? Objectively. So what do we mean by use your ears more and your eyes less? As in, do you want to live in... What do we mean? What do you mean by use your ears more and your eyes less? As in, do you want to live in that 2D experience, that forward-facing 2D experience where your body is not? Or do you want to live in the inward-facing experience, the 3D experience that is within? The 2D experience where your body is not and can never be, or the 3D experience of where your body is and always will be? Or you can get the most out of your life, where you can think the best things, feel the best things, do the best things, be with the best people, be in the moment. Which would you rather do? Here on Power Go On. so we use soft focus to see a lot of things in life. To feel great, actually, to just feel amazing. And what do we mean by soft focus, Herbie? Do we mean turn your eyeballs off? No, silly, you can't turn your eyeballs off. You can close them, you can put something in front of them, but you can't turn your eyeballs off the same way you can't turn your ears off. But you can shift your awareness, your superpower being, you godlike creature, you. Your awareness is your superpower. You'll be able to shift your awareness and watch what happens to your body. Watch how it makes your body feel. So as you shift your focus away from your eyes and living more in your ears, you soft focus your eyes, place your attention on your ears, how does your body feel? How do you feel? Do you feel great? I love you guys. Good morning. Why might it be the case that we don't do that no more? Well, maybe society makes you feel like you gotta live in your eyes. So let's live in the ears. Let's put the attention on the ears, guys. And feel so great in the body. I want to thank you so much for coming through. We're gonna loop this chorus back in a second because it's such a great song. We might just loop the entire song. Thank you guys for coming through so much. It is Monday. It is absolutely Monday on July 12, 2021. Monday, July 12, 2021. Remember, everyone, always allow these words to enter in one ear and out the other. And doesn't that mean we're talking about ears? I want to thank you guys so much for coming through. I hope you are able to feel the weight of the body into the front of the spine and into the rainbow arches at all the times. Feel the front of the shins, and remember, you do not sit on your legs as we are soft focusing on here on Mover Monday. Take care of yourself out there, guys. Place that attention on the ears, hearing, using our sense of the world to make sense of the world, but now using our sense of self to make sense of the world. Feeling better objectively on Padawan. We'll see you tomorrow, guys.